Hello, how is everyone? So wonderful to be here, so excited. It's been a while, hasn't it? Little while. There's a little bit of lag, so I hope that everything's okay because I I can't typical get it all working and then there's a lag. But hopefully let me know in the comments if it's okay, if you can hear me. That would be great because then I can check that as we're going along. So just give a few moments. How is everyone? It's just so weird looking at this, and it literally is behind what I'm saying to you. So forgive me if I sort of go on and you're thinking, hang on. So just will me back with a little comment down the bottom, and then I'll reel back a bit. So what I've got here is, if we go down to the next bit, what we've got here is what we're going to use today. I've got down here all the pens that we're going to use, but really we're going to be using the refills today. The paintbrush, I realised I didn't put the paintbrush size down, so I've put it down. It's number 4, and it's because it's got a little nib there. You know, it's much smaller to see, to paint with, rather than having a great big one. So you got a bit more of a, I think it's a bit more sort of control over where you're putting stuff and or the paint down. So I'm really excited today. So the other one, if you know me well, I cannot pronounce this name, so I'm going to be calling it alcohol. Those who know, or pen zero. Okay, this is what we have in our barrels before the colours added. And we're going to need a paint palette or the Milo. Let me just show you. This is what I'm going to be using. You can see, well loved as everything. And I'll just show you as well. Another thing that's well loved. This is what I mean by the tray in the boxes. It's this bit that comes in when you open the box and you see this underneath. That's what I'm talking about. But we're going to be using, I'm using my palette today, and my trusty little bowl here that I use to put in the alcohol. Just going to show you that I do use, this is a tomato ketchup, I think, throwaway, freebie, whatever. That, oh, brilliant. Thank you, Debbie. So this is, I think it's a throwaway. Let me just make sure you can see it. Yeah, it's one of those tomato ketchup things, isn't it, that you can see there. And I've just filled it up with the alcohol because I get the large litre and I just find it easier, and then I sort of pour that in. What I want is, oh yes, and the tissues. I've got my tissue here. That was the other thing. It was the tissues. Was a good thing to have nearby, you know, for cleaning out your pen, your ink, your brushes or anything like that. So let's go to here. This is what I shared with everyone. It's actually a card, and what I've done is I've used, if I share this with you, I've used this acetate. It's from Highlight Crafts, and the good thing about it, it's 25 sheets with A4, but the good thing about it, I hope I can show you, sorry about the crackling, I'm just going to move my mic over a bit, sorry about the crackling again. You can see that you can use it in both your inkjet and your laser printers. I haven't had a go with printing it yet, printing on it yet, but I'm going to have a go. And it does say to use the matte side for when you're printing, so you'd have to check on your printer, you know, which way it prints. Everyone's different, so I'm not going to say turn it this way, turn it that way, because even I have to think about my own printer and think about where things are. So what I did is I stamped onto it, you know, the stamp that we're going to use today, and then I used my hairdryer on a very, very low setting, so it's nice and cool, and that's to make sure that you know, it doesn't run, it stays nice and dry for us to be able to use it. Yeah, it is a big lag, Debbie. I've no idea. Maybe next time. At least we're live now, but there's a real big lag. So forgive me. I have to get used to this again. It's been a while. So at least we're on now, and we'll keep going through these teething problems until we solve them. But it's still good to be back. So what I was mentioning was about this. Let's have a look. So the what I did is that I print, as I said, I stamped onto this, and then I dried it on a very cool and very slowly, because you don't want to melt the the acetate. So very lightly, and then I did use some pens. I'll show you in a moment which pens. And once it was dried, I actually coloured in the bits here, so you can see that it's coloured in. And I want to show you, I used a combination of these markers. Again, you can get them from Highlight Crafts. I find they're fantastic, really good. I mean, if you look at that, and you'll see even here underneath, I've put something on top of it now. I put a frame on top of it now, but I use a combination of that and where's the pencils? Typical. Oh, here they are. And a combination of the colouring, the watercolour pencils, and all of that, just mixing them all together. So I don't really need to, you know, as you know, crafters, we don't really need to stick to one element, do we? We can mix and blend, and that's what I've done there. And that's why we're using the paintbrush today to paint, because again, I did that for the sky. So what else was I going to show you? Something else really exciting. This, I didn't think about it in the beginning, which is a shame. I thought about it afterwards, but I could have stuck this little fella in here underneath. As you can, he's got everything all over him, so it's not going to work, is it? So that's a shame. Could have put him on top, but I didn't. Let me know what you think. I wasn't sure if I should put him on top. But anyway, so let's get started. I thought that I'd do it all together in terms of putting the ink into my palette. I've already put the alcohol into here already, which I thought you don't need to see me doing that. But just to let you know, I use a little bit at a time the ink, the refill, because there's no point in putting so much and then you waste it. So it's good to just put a few little drops and then add more as you need. So let's see how we go. So what I'm going to do now, I'm adding the oh, before I forget, if you check up here, this is where I always have all the information in terms of the pen colors that you'll need. So if any point I forget to say a number, prompt me anyway, and also just have a look at up here if you know, if you're looking at the repeat of this, then you can always check up there. So I'm just going to put dust there. My left hand, it can't squeeze, so I have to change it round to my right. Just one little drop, I think, to start with. And that was my BG1. Oop. And now, oh, leave it. Now I'm going to pick up my 185. Just going to put a drop there. Okay, right, so I'm just going to push that to the side. And what I'm hoping to do is when we start with the ink from the refills, I'm going to start on this side, and then for the I'm going to have a go at doing the pens as well. Hopefully we've got enough time, and I'll use the pens to go to colour in on this side. We'll see how we go. We might, you know, keep going, and then I might do a recording about it afterwards, but I want to try and get it all in the same bit, because then it's useful, isn't it, if it's all in the same part. So I'm just going to check what you're saying about okay, yep, that's fine, Debbie. So what I'll do is I'll still start with this this part, so that what should we do? No, let's start here, because I was going to swap around, but I think let's keep in the direction that I want to do it, and then I will squeeze in Debbie to do it in this session. So at least you've got both, isn't it? So, and also remember, you can use any color refill as well, for the blue, the grey, or you could just do a fantasy one. So, you know, don't worry if you don't have these, use different colors. So as I said, I'm going to start around here. I'm going to swap around. I'm going to start around here. Okay, so when you're starting to look at let's pull this here, clouds, what I tend to do, if anything, I will go online and I'll have a really good look, get a feel for it. With clouds you can look up in the sky, but I tend to just, when I'm sort of sitting at home and looking, I'll go online, have a look at a few clouds and see, get a few fill-in ideas, not really copying it, you know, verbatim, so to speak, because just can't. So you can just take up ideas of how it's done. So what I thought about here is that if you're thinking about the shape and design of a cloud, so to speak, what I'm doing is I'm looking at it from underneath. So when I'm creating any sort of shape to the cloud, I'm thinking of how it looks underneath. So all of these grey bits are showing the cloud underneath, so therefore it's creating these bumps and textures. So let me just put this to the side. And what I always think when I'm doing this is think the other way. Don't think too much about where I want the cloud to be, more about where I want the blue part to be. And it's better to do it too large in terms of where you think you may want the cloud, but mainly focusing on where you feel that you want the blue to be of your sky, or whatever your main color of your sky is. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to dip my, let's put it here, dip my size 4 brush into here. I'm just going to take off a little bit, and then I'm going to now dip into the 185, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to think about, and you'll see it won't look the same as the other one because I'm literally going to be doing this, we're doing this one together. So let me just think, and I'm going to put the blue around here maybe. So let's have a look. Just gently. This is the same thing actually. Let me show you so that you can, at least, I will do it with the pens, but at least you can, you know, paint along, so to speak. What I'm going to do now, excuse me, I'm picking up the BG1 and I'm going to rub it into here. Sorry about the squeaking. Or onto your Milo. So it's coming to be the same thing. So I'm just doing that, and then with the the 185, I'm going to do the same on the other side. Okay, so it's the same principle that I'm saying you would still do for the pens. So at least then, because I'm conscious of you, Debbie, so that at least you can you can colour along with us. So again, what I'm going to do, you can see I've taken a little bit there, and with the pens, if you do it this way, you'll find that you'll need to use more as you go along. So just be wary of that you may need to add more down as we're painting along. But you do exactly the same thing. You will pick up some of the alcohol, so very little, and like so, and I can see I'm just rubbing off some, and then I'm going into my 185, you see that one's a bit darker. If you don't want it so dark, go into the alcohol. Oh, and just make sure inside, and it will dry lighter. Oh, so glad we're back. So you think in front of you where you would like your clouds to be as well. Just remember, yours will be different to mine. So I'm going to do around here. Just going to check how everybody's getting on. No problem. Okay, sorry, it's on two screens for me now because it's not playing ball. So excuse me when I sort of pause. I don't have a team of experts behind me. It's only me. So again, what I'm doing there is I'm dipping into the alcohol again, and I'm taking a little, just a tiny amount of blue. And I would suggest doing this really slowly as we're doing it, because doing the clouds is it's straightforward, but I suggest taking your time still to do it rather than rushing it, because it gives you a chance to sort of sit back, think. Sometimes you even have to let it dry. Have a look at it once it's dry, and then come back in, leave it if you're happy with it, or add a bit more. so you can see. And just add in a bit more here. The other thing I was thinking about is that in these sessions, let me know, I was thinking of us creating cards or things like that together in these sessions. So again, we'll still do a bit of colouring, we'll get everything set up, and then we can do a bit of all of that, can't we? We can colour and make things together. I think that would be exciting. There, and I'm thinking I might have a bit of the cloud here, so I'm going to go around here, so I'll be about here, because I like the idea as well of having the cloud sort of in between, in this case foliage, you know, in between whatever you've got, the trees, mountains, sort of coming in and out of it. So I think that makes it look really realistic. And the other thing, if you want it to be slightly darker, so I'm just going to make it dark down here. So you can go straight into the pen if you're using the pen ink, or straight into the ink itself, the refill. And then that, because it's in its purest form, will become darker. Just show you again how I'm picking up the colours. So I'm dipping it a little bit with my brush and then wiping it down a little bit so it's not too much, and I'm literally going to the edge here to pick up, and then I'm going in. And it comes to the same thing. You can, if you want it to be more washed, what I've done, we do it here so you can see what I'm tapping. I've dipped it in a little bit, and all I'm doing is shaking off some, and then again to the edge, and you see it's much more, let's bring it here, much more watery or lighter. So doing the same again. So in my mind, I'm thinking of trying around here for there to be a cloud. And I'd suggest not doing the whole thing, so thinking about, oh, I want it all over, you know, do parts at a time, because then it gives you a little bit of time to look at it and think, well, actually I want the cloud to be here. And as I was saying, if you do it large, the white areas, you can then make it smaller, the clouds, or have different sort of designs, etc., rather than actually putting it exactly where you want each one. Make it more organic, because then I'm telling you this for experience. It is much nicer to go this way around than. Okay, so let's do this again. So same. And you can see, even with the little brush, I know there's some people might be saying, oh gosh, that small brush, I'll be there all day. I haven't got a patience. But please, take a little patience with this, because it really does allow you, especially in these areas, to have more control over where you put the colours and what you're doing. Okay. Again, like here, I'm not sure, but I'll leave it. And I'm going to do it so that the cloud, feel the cloud come in here, because I would like some blue here. Yeah, so again, I'm sort of thinking of both, but I'm more sort of thinking as well about, oh, I'd like the blue in the sky to be about here, you know, and here, just to get the feel. So think of it in that terms as well. Let's see, a little bit here. Yeah, so all I'm doing is dipping the tip of my brush into the alcohol and back into the colour, and we're still using the 185. And I'm doing it this way just to show you that you don't need all these different combinations of pen colour to do something like this. You can just use it directly, as I'm going to do here. So same font, you can make it darker. It's got too much. Let's use the piece of paper. It's got too much. Let's see. There, you can see it's slightly getting a bit darker. It won't get too dark because we are using a lighter colour, but you can see that it is slightly darker than the rest. Okay, I hope you're starting to see now. There's a semi little shape happening there. I'm still using the same drops of the refill, but again, just keep an eye on yours in front of you, and if you need to add more pen ink down, then please do. Because I'm going to need to add some more refill here in a moment. Like this. Because if you think clouds have all sort of shapes, so at the moment I'm really thinking about the outline of it. So first of all, I'm thinking around here, so I'm saying what I'm thinking out loud, so that hopefully it helps. So, again, I'm just going to use a bit here. So I'm going to add some more 185 to my palette, and just a drop. And go again. And you can see, because I had less of the alcohol on my brush and a little bit more of the blue, you can see, hopefully you can see that this came out slightly darker. It's fine, it's sky, isn't it? If you live in England, you'll know that it's very rare to get straight blue sky, so there's always going to be something in it. It's like a blessing, isn't it, when you see it all in one blue? 'Cause it is beautiful, isn't it? Okay. Alright, I'm going to start thinking about where I want the blue here. Okay. Maybe like this. You see, I went straight in there. That's why it's darker. That's okay. You can get a bit more of the alcohol. So I want it a bit like, you can see it's going to go light anyway, but it will still look darker. I'm going to use that, and then I'm going back in. Let me just check how you're all getting on, see if there's any questions. No? I think, Debbie, it's just us two. I've got a feeling it's just us two, so we'll have fun together, hey? Right, so and I'm thinking, you can see it's starting to have that shape, isn't it? And I am going to only be concentrating on creating some kind of a cloud or a cloud here. I might split it up, but at the moment I'm quite liking that shape that's happening there. So let's see, let it go around here. You can see I'm holding my my brush quite the way up. I mean, you can hold it lower, but then I find it's more difficult to see what I'm doing rather than holding it like a pen. And it's nice just to hold it back like this even further, depending on how you feel. I'm holding it about here. And the other thing is, if you find the pen, a pen, or in this case a brush too thin to hold, get some masking tape and wrap it around it and have a feel. That's the sort of cheapest version I can think of, because I'm running a group and they also have the same sort of feel when they're holding a paintbrush. So what we do is we wrap it around, and then at least there's a little bit more of a grip as well as being able to, it's thicker to hold on to. So my tip of the day. So again, it's let's go like this. Yeah, seeing it starting to take shape now, isn't it? As I always say, you can see what's in front of you, so please, change it to how you feel you want yours to look. There you go. And I'm thinking of starting to close. This is turning into quite a nice shape at the moment. We'll see once we finish the blue bit. Let me think, where do I want the blue? Some blue here. Yeah. And you can see I'm not worrying about the if it's looking scratchy, because we can go over that afterwards. This is more about deciding where we want the blue to be, and we think it look nice on our piece of work, and then doing the clouds, and then going over, touching up, and then, as I say, it takes a little while, a little, so don't rush this. It's not, I don't find it a quick process. There might be somebody in the community saying, well, come on, it's quicker than but I'm fine doing it like this. Okay, so I'm going to leave that as it is. So this is what I mean about not doing the whole bit. So I'm thinking, yeah, I want the blue to be like this. You may think I say that, but you might think, you know what, I'm ready to think about here. So let's, just as an example, without finishing it off, I feel like I want the blue. Definitely want some blue here. So I'm still dipping my brush into the alcohol. You know, I might be looking at this and thinking, you know what, I want a bit more blue here. I already know this, so you can just add it. As I said, you can fix this afterwards, but it's just getting a feel. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the alcohol like this, just to using it as an agent to clean my brush. So I've dipped it in a little bit, and I'm stretching over to dry it off with my tissue. And now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at the cloud. And as I was saying in the beginning, what I find easier to do is to think of underneath. So where I'm going to put the grey, in this case it's going to be the BG1, I want to put it as if it's underneath each part, so that it seems to, for me, it works in terms of creating that depth and texture of the cloud. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to dip just the tip, dry it off a little bit more. Let me go back, because with the pens, you may want to do it with this first, picking it up clearly, and then adding some down, doesn't matter where, like this, and then dip in. Let's see if I can. I'm going in with the pen version, and then there, that's the pen. Yeah, you will see it. It's because there's lots of water. I'm just bringing it so I can show you. I'm dipping into the BG1 here, and you can see it's starting to come through, and it will, the more it dries, the more you'll see it. So just so that you can see that happening, because you'll see me do it slightly different, in some cases the same with the direct ink. But the principle of what I'm saying here in terms of thinking underneath, this has gone a bit too dry for me, let's add a bit more. There, my BG1. There we go. So just dried up a little bit there. So I was just using the alcohol to wake it up. So I'm going to start from down here. And the best thing to do is to do it again in little parts so that you have a chance to think, well, a little bit here, a little bit here. So again, I'm still using the same brush size, the 4, and I'm thinking along here. You can see I'm just stroking it along here, a little bit of here. Alright, I want it to look a little bit lighter, so I'm going to go in and dip my brush into the alcohol, and I'm going to just, what I'm doing is I'm just wiping a bit of that off, because I think it just may have a little bit too much, because I was waking this up, making up the dry bit. So let me have a look. Again, this is what happens. You're seeing what's happening to me live, so it happens. And then I'm just going to stretch it out like this. You see I'm still going underneath still, and this is why I like doing it behind, because it also gives it that chance to look a little bit more realistic. And you're going to start seeing now why I say definitely, especially in this case, to use the smaller one because of that, because of that control. So again, I'm dipping it in to the alcohol using very slim amount, very tiny amount of the colour. I think I may have left my one too long. No, it's still fine. You see I'm still thinking of here underneath, and I want to bring in a bit more alcohol rather than adding more colour over the top, and it will dry clearer like this. And you can see even the bit here where we did it with the pens. If you've used the pens, you can see it's starting to do it already. Starting to have that feel. So I'm looking again, and what I'm doing now is I'm not saying that I want it here, want it here, want it here. I'm not thinking of it in that whole term. I'm thinking of it in bits of pieces. So again, going into my alcohol, into a bit of the BG1, because that's what we're using now. So we're just going to be using our BG1. We're going to go up here. So again, you have a look. I'm looking at, there's a bit sticking out here, and there's a bit here. So I think I'll go back and put some there as well. Like that. I think I want that lighter, so I'm going to go in straight with my alcohol and make it even lighter. You can use a lighter grey if you want to. I just for a change. I tried a few of them and I thought, yeah, I like this one. No other reason than I thought, oh, this is a nice change to our normal greys as we would use. This has sort of got a blue tint, and I thought, well, it's the sky, isn't it? So again, I'm looking along here. I'm going to put, you can see there's a little blue in my one. I can see it's across here. So I'm just going to go just very faintly with the tip. And you can see I'm trying not to make it too straight as well, because as you know, it's organic, isn't it? It doesn't go in a straight line. So I'm doing sort of fluffy bits like that. Okay, we'll keep going. I'm going to keep going around the edges so far. So I think out here a little bit. And there's areas that you might feel that you want to make a little bit darker, just to get some feel. So let's try it here so you see what I mean. So I may decide that there are darker bits in this cloud. And so I'm stretching it out. And all I'm doing to do this is I'm going straight into my alcohol and doing that stretch. So I might want to put a bit more, I'm saying some dark bits. So I'm just doing some dots. I think I need to put some more. Yeah, let's put some more BG1 down. So just feels so just feels so relaxed. So let me just clean that a little bit. I'm going to go in with some BG1. I'm just going to create some little dots here. And stretch it out a little bit. And this is one of the bits where the parts where I'll say, right, let it dry, then come back to it. Because you might look and think, oh, I've done too much, for example. Just to give you an idea, I've gone in and I've dipped my brush back into the alcohol, and I've taken a little bit of the blue, and I'm going to go in and just soften that out with the blue. There you can see it's starting to change shape a little bit, but it's still keeping that look. Yeah, as I said, that will dry, so don't worry if that happens to yours. It's going to dry nice, so don't worry. As I said, it's all organic, isn't it? So I've gone back in with my BG1, and I'm starting now to look on these sides. So for me, I can see a little bit here. So remember, what we're doing is we're looking at the underneath of our clouds, or the underneath of where we want certain the texture, if you like, of the cloud to be. Yeah, going back in, BG1, and again, don't remember to top up, especially with the pens. You have to top up a bit more. It's definitely with the pens, just pull a little bit down at a time. It's better to put more, to put less and add more. And I'm looking. And let's start going in the middle here, so I can see a little dip. Let me do here, so then you get a chance to see what I would do in a wider space. So to begin with that, what I would do is I'd look at it and see if there was any obvious parts. So what I mean by obvious is if there's little bits like here, like we was looking here, are there any sort of gaps that we can sort of see already? I know that's sort of like, but it's white. But you'll sort of in your mind, you'll sort of think, I can see that this could be in that. So listen out to think about that as well. Sort of what is it telling you? Where do you feel it needs to be? So again, I've gone back in with the alcohol, going into the BG1, and I start by doing dots like this. That's why it needs to be. And you see I'm just doing just little dots and random sort of patterns really, but very small. Yeah, start off with it small, don't go right across, because as you can see, once you start doing that, maybe you can see it closer because it's in front of you, your one, that it's starting to have that depth. You're starting to see it. And my suggestion as well is don't overdo it. Just do little pockets here, because I can feel mine one's already there with the tip. Yeah, and again, always think of underneath, because I'm thinking here still, I'm thinking underneath, but it will look as if it's inside. But if you think of that in terms of, it will just look naturally, or natural rather, to the cloud. And again, I'm going to put a little bit here. And here, and I think I can see a little bit in here, so I'm just adding one bit here. Like so. And you'll go, as I said, you'll go away, come back, have a look and think, I want to add a bit more, or you might think, you know what, I want to add more blue down here. I've changed my mind. So for example, I'll go back in, go into my my 185, and I'm thinking, you know what, I want to change that shape a little bit, as we did up there. Yeah, just to show you can. Even another example, now I'm exaggerating and things like that, just to show you as well. Again, you will look at yours and you'll see how you want it to look like. So I might think, you know what, that is too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to think in two ways. Do I want to completely cut it off, so we cut it in half, or in bits, or do I just want to bring, as we've done here, just bring it in a bit more and then still leave it connected. So to demonstrate that, I'm going to do it from, let's do it from here. So I've picked up a little bit of my alcohol, a little bit of the 185, and what I'm going to do is to go in like this, and you can see I'm already changing the way it looks. I've just gone in straight with to the alcohol, and you can see already I'm just going over it just to lighten it a bit more, but you can see as it's drying it's already happening. Alright, I say I'm exaggerating, but it doesn't look too bad, I think. So the other thing I was going to show, say for example you don't want to split it up in half, because if you wanted to, it just goes straight across with the blue. Say, because we know that sometimes clouds, they have little holes, don't they, where you can see the sky through it. So again, I'd go in, dip my paintbrush into the alcohol, pick a bit of the 185 here, and I'm going to make one here, It's around like this. Again, you can see, I can see that my one's a little bit too dark, even though it will get lighter. I just want it a little bit more lighter. So I've gone into my alcohol and I'm putting it directly onto it. Like so. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go in and put some BG1 so that you can see the underneath. So the underneath, I'm going to put it here as the underneath. So I've just gone into the BG1 and I'm just doing dots. Oop, if you like. Like that. I think I need a little bit more of the BG1. Like so. Add in a bit more. Okay, so the last thing I want to show, because I was talking about it looking darker, so if you're using your pens, put some BG1 on a separate part, because what we're going to do is to go straight in. So I'm going to do the same. I'm taking my BG1 and I'm putting just a drop again into a space. Because this is where you can really sort of play around with colours and stormy clouds and all that sort of thing. It's based on this. So I haven't dipped my brush back in. In fact, I'm going to dry it a bit, just so that you can really see it. So it's dried, and I've made sure that the nib is back together. Just giving it a little squeeze. And I'm going, let's bring this in so you can see. I'm going straight into the colour, like so. And I'm going to look at, let's do here. So I'm going to do underneath, just above where that blue is that we've just put in. So again, just little dabs of dots. So bring this in so you can see I'm literally going right to the edge, and do the same with the ink that you've put down from your pen. And I'm just adding in some darker bits. So I'm saying, do it as fine as you can, and you'll see I'm tending to put it where I've put the dark ones at the moment. That's where I'm putting it. Maybe here. Maybe along here, and also here you can see that I have added it where I haven't put any light grey. So just to show you your BG1, just show you can do that as well. I'm just using here what's left on my brush. Okay, so that's it. I hope this helps. Just get to the close out so you can all see me. Oh dear, this has just been so wonderful being back, and as I was saying, I'd love to that in the future when we do these, that maybe we create something together. We create a card so we get it all set up, what stamp we're going to use and all that sort of thing, and then we craft together, we create something. You know, let me know, was there something specific? I'm thinking along cards and maybe some other little boxes maybe, but mainly cards at the moment. So let me know, and I hope that this was useful. And again, let me know if there's anything that you'd want me to add, change, or you need more information, because these sessions are for us to enjoy, not just for me to enjoy, which is all a part of it. So I'm really glad to be back live with everyone, and I'll see you next month. Bye.